I'm so excited about this segment of Let's Talk About It because I have wanted to know the backstory to my favorite hamburger place for a very long time. And I have known Angela Corpening for decades now. And I see her on the golf course and we see her at events. We've gone to concerts together before. But I've never sat down with you and really dove into the history of GoldenLight Cafe.
Okay.
And so I just wanted to sit down, talk burgers, talk birdies, talk whatever.
Okay.
First off, let's talk about how you came to be in the Golden Light Circle back in the day.
Okay. Well, thanks for having me. Really, it's kind of an interesting story. I started working at the Golden Light when I was 19 years old.
Okay.
I was a waitress and a bartender over the time, and I worked there probably like 5 or 6 years. And then the previous owner, Mark Reed, I worked for him for a long time, and he was a great guy and a great boss. So the golfer Ryan Palmer, and his dad Butch, who was also just great customers at the Golden Light, they were going to buy into the bar side of the Golden Light with Mark, and that was like this big plan. It was about to happen, and then I don't know what happened, but that kind of fell through, and Mark just decided he was just kind of done. And so on a whim, I asked him if he would sell me the Golden Light. And so I was 26 years old with no money, no credit, so I had to go try to sell my business plan to several banks, and Bank of Commerce, Alex O'Brien, rolled the dice on me, and he gave me the loan for the Golden Light, and I've had it ever since.
You were 20, so how long ago was that?
Well, I'm 45. I just turned 45 Monday, so
2 decades.
19 years.
Yeah, almost 2 decades.
I've had it for 19 years, yes.
What is it that makes that place so iconic and so unique? There's nothing, to me, and again, I'm biased because it's one of my favorite places in town. What makes it so unique?
I think there's several things. I think one of it is the oldest restaurant in Amarillo, and it still looks almost exactly identical as it did in 1946, minus like a pool table. Back in the day, I think there was a pool table in the back.
Yeah, back in that back corner,
yes, in that back corner, yes. But minus that, it still has kept its whole framework. We've kept the integrity of it as much as I can. You know, we use the real griddle. So that grill top is from 1946. Now, the stuff around it has been built, but the griddle itself is the original griddle, and I think that's what makes it special. Yeah. I think the way we cook, it's called short order cooking. And so we still handwrite our tickets and we hang it up and you watch us cook. And I think that kind of gives a fun, that's what makes it also iconic. And I think it's our customers. I mean, Amarillo is iconic to, everyone eats at the Golden Light. It doesn't matter what part of life you're in, you eat at the Golden Light. Most people do. And I think that's what makes it so special.
For you, being a part of that now, like, again, it is this iconic thing. It's been here since 1946. What is that like to, you have the responsibility of taking care of this little gym here.
Well, that's what it is. I don't feel like, in some ways, I don't feel as much as an owner as a keeper of it. I feel like it's my responsibility to maintain it and to make it better and, leave it better than when it was when I got it, eventually. I've done things like I've increased the quality of food. Yeah. I've changed some of that over time, and we use fresh buns and different meat and things like that. But the chili recipes, it's the original. Minus a few,
well, here and there,
but it's not so much as owning it as just being the keeper of something so special to this town to me.
Well, you've done a great job. When was the last time anything on that menu has ever, I think the menu looks exactly the same as it has since I was eating there years and years ago.
It has. I think the last time it changed is when I bought it, because I added, me and Mark, the previous owner, used to argue about this all the time. I kept telling him to add bacon, and he refused to add bacon to the burgers. Or on the menu, and so when I bought it, I don't know if you know, but it's the Angela Bacon Cheeseburger. Not because I love bacon, which I do, but it's because it was my argument with Mark, and so now it's just my bacon cheeseburger.
That's my order, and I add green. I do that, and I either add green chilies or jalapenos, depending how I feel that day. So that's the story. They didn't have bacon until you got there?
They did not have bacon until I got there.
You should be a patron saint. I think we should just crown you that. You're the person that brought bacon to the Golden Light.
To the Golden Light. But yeah, other than that, I added the avocado burger just because, just little things like that. Yeah. But all the burgers are named after our customers, our regular customers.
Yeah, your long-time customers.
Some of them are alive, some of them are not alive. But that's also kind of the fun thing that I know those people. Yeah. I knew every one of them. So
we were a week past. I think it was National Hamburger Day last week. What makes a good hamburger?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think that's a hard question because there's two different kinds of hamburgers to me.
Okay.
So with the GoldenLight does an old-fashioned hamburger. So it fits in your hand.
Yeah.
You can eat it and it fits your hand. And then people, then there's the big, I don't know, call them steak burgers, I guess. Yeah. And so there's two different kinds.
I'm not that guy.
Yeah, I'm not that guy either. Yeah. I like an old-fashioned. So I think it's toast in the buns. Mm-hmm. I think that's a big part of it. I think having good quality. I guess those are the main things.
And having a griddle that's been there since 1940 something with all that seasoning on it doesn't hurt.
Yes.
And I say that because a lot of people think, well, there's not that big of a difference between hamburgers, and I'm like, I disagree. There's a big difference. I can almost tell you where the hamburger. Like I've eaten enough hamburgers. I'm like, these people haven't figured out. It's the perfect size, the perfect seasoning. And it just...
it's the right amount of toppings.
Yeah.
So one thing that's interesting about the GoldenLight that you've probably don't know this and never realized, but now you will next time you eat there, we build our burgers backwards. So if you go to most restaurants, the toppings and stuff are on top. You know what I mean? In the GoldenLight, we build our burgers backwards. So our meat and cheese are at the very top.
I've never noticed that.
So if you go to next time you eat a burger somewhere else, notice how they dress it, and then when you come to the GoldenLight, we build them backwards, kind of.
Tell me why you do that.
It's just the way it's been done since I started working there. I don't know. It's just always been done that way. And so I don't know if that's the old-fashioned style or if that's just the way the GoldenLight did it. But anyway, they're built backwards.
Okay, so what other little nuggets like that about the GoldenLight do most people not know? Little fun facts about the GoldenLight.
Facts about the GoldenLight. I think a lot of that would have to do with our bar.
Yeah.
Just because the amount of really cool people that have played at our bar that people don't even realize that are huge now. Miranda Lambert played there one time.
Really?
I'm trying to think. I wish I would have thought about this more before you started talking, but there's just been a lot of really, really big acts. And even still, like, my favorite story about Tamara, I don't know if you've been to the GoldenLight, so you know Tamara. Tamara's the art. Yeah. She's been there 25 years. She's the best waitress in this town. Sorry, Reddy, but she is. So Tamara one time, I think it was Miranda Lambert, she came and she ate, and they were just driving through town, so she was there with her staff, and she ID'd her. And so it was really, really funny because Tamara takes her job serious, and she thought she looked young, so she ID'd her for a beer, and she thought that was the funniest thing. Like, Miranda Lambert thought that was so wonderful that she got ID'd.
Well, you know what's funny? When you say that about Miranda Lambert, any musical guest that we've ever had come on this show that has been passing through town, I've always said, hey, what are you doing for lunch? You should go to the GoldenLight. Or if sometimes they would be playing there, or they'd be playing Charlie Crockett, which is, I love Charlie Crockett. And it's sad because it's not sad because he's a big deal. He's a big deal now, but he's probably not going to come back to Amarillo. Yeah. But like, he's probably been in there. Cody Johnson, I know I told back in the day when
Cody Johnson's play there?
Yeah.
Charlie Crockett actually played the GoldenLight even when he was too big. I don't know if you know this. It was probably 4 years ago when he just has taken off because he wanted to. He'd heard about the GoldenLight and he just wanted to play there. And so we sold it out within like a couple of hours. But it was because he wanted to play the GoldenLight. And I always thought that was so special. Like, I was like, thank you for...
Well, promise me that you will call me if Charlie Crockett ever comes back into town. I would love that. What is another, maybe a couple other people that came through town and were like, we just want to play the GoldenLight?
Oh, Bruce Robinson.
Okay.
Him and his wife wanted to play the GoldenLight. I'm trying to think. A lot of those Red Dirt music guys got their start there, so sometimes they just, for a nostalgic point, want to come through like Stoney LaRue or Cross Canadian. They're not together now, but when they still were. Joe Ely. Joe Ely likes to play the GoldenLight, which I always think that's really, really neat. The Gourds.
Do you love getting that phone call? Your phone rings and they're like, "Hey, can we play the GoldenLight?" And you're like, "Yes."
Oh yeah.
Who's been your throughout the years of you working there and you owning the GoldenLight? What's your favorite act that has come through?
There's two.
Okay.
Number one's Charlie Crockett.
Yeah.
Because it was just phenomenal, and his opener was I'll think of it in a minute and tell you. Okay. His opener was phenomenal too. And then there's this band. They were out of Lubbock, and they were a high school band that had. I guess they kind of decided to create their own band, and so they had like 25 musicians, and sometimes they brought 10, sometimes they brought all 25, and they were called Mount Ratchets. And they would come in, and it was the most incredible thing I've ever seen. They'd have my whole bar walk around, the whole outside, playing their instruments, But it was music, but band. What they did it with their band, like it was also band. It was the coolest show.
Okay.
So they were called Mount Ratchis out of Lubbock. It was just really, really a neat experience.
I've been to a wedding.
Yeah,
at the GoldenLight.
I've had 2 or 3 weddings at the GoldenLight.
Yeah, a dear friend of mine. We went thinking it was an engagement.
I was
kind
there
of
at that.
deal,
I know
and
exactly what you're talking about.
getting burgers, and the next thing I know, my friend is on stage getting married, and I was like, "This is so cool."
It is cool.
Yeah, yeah. I was so weepy.
You were happy about the wedding, but you were also like the first thing you told me when you got there was, "I'm so happy I get to have chili today from here."
Yes,
I love that.
Yeah, it was such a cool thing. What in like what does the future of the GoldenLight look like? Is it look just the? I think just the nostalgia. We're just going to keep it the same.
I mean, pretty much for 6th Street for sure.
Yeah.
Because it is, I don't want to change it.
Yeah,
like I don't, you don't fix what's not broken.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's maintaining an old building. You know, those things on that. You know, finding the best music that we can find. That and then I don't know. You know, I have a second location that I started with some business partners, and it's called the GoldenLight Beer Garden. That one has a lot more room for growth that we're trying to do funner things with because it does have an ability to change and adapt. You know, and so. The future there just looks to grow that.
The only thing, it does have a better bathroom. I can tell you that.
It does have a better bathroom, you're sure. And that patio is just beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
It's just a really neat space. I love it. I mean, it's just a fun space.
When we're on that side of town, we will go there. But most of the time, especially, again, my birthday, every lunch for my birthday, April 24th, you will find me there. And the thing that I love, not only does the people don't change.
They don't. I have no turnover hardly at all. I literally don't. I think it's because the employees also get invested in the customers in the place. Like I mentioned Tamara earlier. I mean, she just loves.
Yeah, Tamara, how long has she been there?
I think 20, 23, 25, somewhere.
Yeah.
We're teetering in 23, 25 years.
Yeah.
And then Serena, there's another waitress that's also been there that long. I think it's because they love it too, and I treat them well, and
it's a family.
It's a family. We are a family.
And I think that's, to me, what sets it aside. That it's not your typical, I'm just going to go in, and the faces just rotate out at the other restaurants. Yeah. Again, the menu hasn't changed, the people don't change, and thank God that the atmosphere doesn't change. It just has got that same just sweet feel to it.
It does, I know. That's why I always think it's the perfect dive. Like, to me, like if I think of diners, dishes, and dives, I'm always like, it is. This is what this is to me.
And I think not only do your employees feel vested into it, I think those of us who have eaten there our entire adult life, I feel like, again, like, oh, you got to go to the GoldenLight. Yeah. Like, or when somebody makes a post, I'm like, oh, about the GoldenLight, I'm like, oh my gosh, I 100% agree. Okay, so when you're not there, I know a big passion of yours. I see you on the golf course.
Yes.
A lot of people may not know this. Angela's a pretty good golfer.
Well, I'm trying.
You're trying. But
I'm trying.
You have the golf bug.
I do have the golf bug, big time.
Okay, let's talk about that. How did you get bit?
You know, I think it was during COVID, and I needed something to go do by myself that I could just have some space, and I think that's what I did, and I started playing, and we've talked before, it's just those few shots or those few rounds that just get you, and they get you, and so now it's my passion. I do it as much as I can. I love it. Yeah. And then I also like to run. I like to run and exercise a lot too. Those are
what's that like? I don't know what that's like. I got you on the golf thing, but so you run and golf. That's kind of how you de-stress and you kind of enjoy your time.
Those are my times. And then I have 2 children, and then I have 2 stepchildren. So I've got 4 children altogether, and so they also keep me very, very busy. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So being a mom, being the keeper of the GoldenLight, I think that's your official title now, the keeper.
It is the keeper.
Of the GoldenLight.
I like that.
So your golf game.
Yes.
So what is it? So let's talk about, like, what is it that keeps you going out and playing? I think a lot of people probably did what you did during COVID because there wasn't a lot that we could do.
Yeah.
That was the one thing that you could go out to a golf course. You're by yourself. Mm-hmm. You're in this place. And for me, it's my healing time.
Me too.
It's my, I don't even have to play with anyone. I could be out hitting balls. I could go play by myself. I don't care. But it is the one thing where I turn off the phone, set it aside, and I'm just there.
I think that's what it is for me. It's the present, because you have to be present. You can't play golf and not be present. No. Like, you just can't, or you're just everywhere.
Well, because you've probably done the same thing. You maybe had a good round or something, and you're like, I'm figuring, and then you get a text or a call, and you're like, I got to take this.
I know, and then everything
then
just
it's over.
falls apart. I know.
It's over, and you're like, and I always say, I'm never bringing my phone on the golf course again.
I think it's that, and then just I move at a really fast pace because of all the things I have to do, being a mom and the jobs and stuff, and it's the only time I have to slow down because you have to slow down. And so I think it's also a challenge of me to learn to calm and slow, and I like that. I think it's a new challenge.
Do your kids play?
No, I keep trying to get them to, but they're not loving it. No.
Yeah, I think they'll come around at one point, but
so
like
too.
when I'm trying to talk to my 12 and 14-year-old, and I'm trying to do anything. I'm like, we can get snacks.
Yes.
We can do anything.
You can drive the cart.
Drive the cart, like anything. And I think maybe later in life, hopefully they come back around and go, oh, maybe they weren't wrong. Maybe
I bet they do.
Is all right.
I bet they do.
Okay, so here's this is a question for you. And I like to, especially people in the restaurant business, where do you eat when you're not at the GoldenLight? Or do you have some favorites around town? I always like to promote local business.
I do have some favorites. My new favorite one is Little Louse on 6th Street.
You're the second. Matt Morgan.
It's so good.
I just hung out with Matt Morgan the other day, and he told me that it's the Old Barney's Beanery.
Yes, Old Barney's Beanery. It is outstanding.
Okay.
And they did it so cute, and the food is outstanding. I love that. I love Indian food, so I really like Indian oven. I like
Punjabi affair.
Punjabi too. I like them both. I'm just a little bit Indian oven girl. As far as that goes, I like Ichiban.
Yeah,
quite a bit.
You're hitting all my favorites.
I know. I love those. I love Hummers because of the atmosphere and just what it is. But I don't know if it just is what it is.
I think it's because we grew up here.
Yes.
And we spent a lot of time, in there having a cold beer.
I think it's all of that and those steak bites.
Yeah.
I love Jimmy Lee's steak bites. Yeah, she's mastered them.
And that's another great story that we'll have to get into. I have to have Jimmy in here because, again, has a similar story of you.
Yeah,
of somebody who worked there and was like, hey, I think I want to buy this.
Yes.
Two staples. I love that you like to visit that. Is there something on the menu or not on the menu that is a special order that maybe you have some people that have been in there for a long time that they have is there a special item? Is there a hidden item on the menu?
There is an item. Don't ask if we're busy. If we're busy, we can't do it. But there's an item called trash fries, is what we call them. And so what we do is we slice up an onion and we throw in the jalapenos and we deep fry them with the French fries.
Stop it.
No, and you pull them out and it's just so good. But if we're super packed, we can't. It takes a whole fryer to do it, and so and we we're small. So, but that's one of our really popular ones. Are called trash fries.
I feel like I want to leave work now and go do this. Trash fries.
Yes.
Remind me, Caden. I've got to make a note of that.
And
trash fries.
And people don't know this, but we also do a really, really good quesadilla. It's not on the menu, but we do our 6th Street, and so we can cut the hamburger up and put green chilies and onions and grill them and do a quesadilla. That's also pretty.
My wife loves a quesadilla, so I'm gonna have to go in there and try that. This interview has been fascinating on a lot of different levels, but that alone, the trash fries.
Yes.
You did. As a matter of fact, I will make time Friday.
Go get some trash fries.
I'll go play golf on Friday.
Yes.
And then I'll go grab some trash fries, but it might be busy, so I'll keep that. I'll keep that in.
I'll let them know you're coming. They'll get it for you.
Yeah, tell them.
I'll tell them we talked about. You have to let him try.
Tell them I'll be there. In terms of Amarillo, having spent all of these years here, what would you want to say to the people of Amarillo who continue to just support GoldenLight throughout all the years, all the COVIDs, all the things?
Yeah, I thank them.
Yeah.
I thank them, and I also we see them because they show up and they do support me. I think that is why it is so special, is because of all the people that come and love it and support it. Including the staff, myself, everyone. I think that is what makes it the place that it is. I do, and it's because of the people that come. It's 100% because of them. So I thank them, and especially during COVID, that was just amazing. I don't know, it was amazing. Yeah. I felt it, so it was good.
Well, good. All right. I do want to brag on one more thing. I judge a lot of restaurants on weird things. You have a really good ranch.
Yes, we do.
When you get the cheese fries, that's one of my birthday things is I get the cheese fries. Now I'm going to have to add the trash fries into it. But there's just something about dipping that. whatever you're doing with your ranch, keep doing that.
Okay.
All right.
I'm not going to tell you.
Don't tell me. Nobody needs to know that.
I think Hummers, Pizza Planet, and me have some of the best ranch in town.
You're right.
I really do. I think so.
You're right.
Yep.
Well, Angela, thank you so much for sitting down. I wanted to talk about that stuff with you for a long time, and then I saw that it was National Burger Month, and then I talked to my dear friends over at Brick and Elm, and they've got this wonderful spread coming out soon about burger places and whatnot. And as a matter of fact, when he went to a photo shoot, Jason was at your restaurant doing a photo shoot.
Okay, yes.
He took a picture and sent it to me, and I can't remember what the caption was, but it was like something, and I was like, yes, I'm jealous. I want to be there. I want to be there right now. Well, thank you for just being an important part of Amarillo. Thank you for taking care of the GoldenLight and taking care of the people of Amarillo.
Well, thanks for having me on today.
You bet. Thanks, Caden.
That was easy.